Good morning, boys. How are you? Today our lesson is about rhombi and squares. Of course, rhombi is a plural of rhombus. Today we are going to study how we prove that parallelogram is a rhombus and how parallelogram is square. Exactly, we are going to use their properties like the previous lesson. Of course, before we start, we have a revision. WXYZ is a rectangle. If ZX equals 6x minus 4 and WY equal 4x plus 14, find ZX. Of course, here he give me the diagonals. ZX is diagonal and WY is diagonal, and he said for me that this figure is rectangle. We know that in rectangle diagonals are congruent, therefore you make 6x minus 4 equal 4x plus 14. You get an equation. You solve this equation, you will get the value of x. Then you replace in ZX, in 6x minus 4, you will get that ZX equal 50. Also, this example is the same. All of them are the same. As I told you, try to solve these questions by yourself, then check your answers. Now we are going to go direct to our lesson. Here, of course, the new vocab you have rhombus and square. Rhombus and square, you know them before. They are quadrilateral, which have some special properties. We are going to start with rhombus. What are the properties that when parallelogram take them, this parallelogram become rhombus? If parallelogram is rhombus, then its diagonals are perpendicular. Then the first property that rhombus have is when the diagonals are perpendicular. What the meaning of perpendicular? They form right angle, like this. When two diagonals forming four right angles, 1, 2, 3, 4, when the diagonals are perpendicular, this means the parallelogram A, B, C, D become rhombus. Become what? Rhombus. Last lesson we studied when diagonals are congruent, the parallelogram become rectangle. Now, when diagonals are perpendicular, then the parallelogram become rhombus. Another property, if parallelogram is rhombus, then each diagonal bisects a pair of opposite angles. Another properties in rhombus, that the diagonal bisect the opposite angles. In this diagonal RP, of course, P and R are congruent. This is one property of parallelogram. We studied this before. Opposite angles are congruent. RP is bisecting angle B and bisecting angle R. This means angle 1 and angle 2 are equal, angle 3 and angle 4 are equal. Also, angle 1 equal to angle 3 and equal to angle 4 and equal to angle 2, because all of them are halves. 1 and 2 are, this is 1 half and this is 1 half, this is 1 half and this is 1 half. Why again? Because P and R are equal. And for example, if this angle is 60, this means angle 1 is 30 and angle 2 is 30. The same, P and R are congruent. If P 60, then R 60. This means angle 3 will be 30 and angle 4 will be 30. The same here, angle N and angle Q are congruent. This means angle 5, 6, 7, 8. These four angles are congruent. Why again? Because diagonal NQ bisect the opposite angles. Here we have the theorem ABCD is rhombus, AC perpendicular with BD. This means the two diagonals are perpendicular. He wants me to prove that this figure ABCD is rhombus. Of course, paragraph proof is not required. You no need to read this or memorize this. Here we have an example. The diagonals of rhombus. This figure is rhombus. He told me it is rhombus. Before I start, now I know that diagonals bisecting opposite angles and diagonals are perpendicular. Before I start, I must know this information because they are properties of rhombus. We are going to use them to solve any question about rhombus. Now I go back to the question. The diagonals of rhombus W, X, Y, Z intersect at V. Diagonal X, Z and diagonal W, Y, they intersect in point V. Angle W, Z, X, this one, equal 39.5. Now I know that this angle 39.5 and this 39.5 and this 39.5 and this 39.5. Why? Because diagonal bisect opposite angles. Diagonal XZ bisect angle Z and bisect angle X. This means this angle 39.5 and this angle 39.5. You want me to find angle ZYX. ZYX. This one, angle Y. Of course, I take the triangle ZXY. This triangle ZXY. I know that the sum of angles in any triangle is 180 degrees. But I know angle XZY 39.5 and angle YXZ also 39.5, this 39.5 and this 39.5. I add them and subtract from 180. When I add them, 39.5 plus 39.5, you will get 79. Subtract 79 from 180, you will get 101. This means angle ZYX, this one, the big angle, is 101. The solution is here, of course, in details. You see? Now he wants me to find the value of x. Here in this one. The diagonal of rhombus WXYZ intersect at V, the same figure. Now he told me that WX, this side, equal 8x minus 5 and WZ equal 6x plus 3. He want me to find x. He want me to find what? X. Okay. Rhombus is like square. The four sides are equal. Or if you don't want to use these properties, WXZ, this triangle, WXZ, this one, is isosceles triangle. Why isosceles triangle? Because angle WXZ, this one, and angle WZX, this one, are congruent. This means the triangle ZWX is isosceles. In isosceles triangle, I have two sides are equal, which means WZ equal WX. Or as I told you, we have one property easier. In rhombus, all sides are equal. WX, XY, YZ, ZW, all of them are equal. Therefore, direct you can write 8x minus 5 equals 6x plus 3. And you solve it. You see, you get x equal 4. You get the value of x. With this example, the same. You want me to find angle CDB, 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 this one, and he give me ABC, ABC, ABC is 126, ABC. Of course, angle CDB is half of angle ABC, because angle ABC and angle CDA are congruent. This are congruent. But BD is diagonal and bisecting angle B and angle D. This means this part and this part, this part and this part are equal. Angle B 126, then angle D 126. Half of it, because CDB is half, it will be 63. This example also the same. Solve it by yourself and check your answer.